Welcome to my messy house where we have not finished our chores yet this morning. You can see the laundry pile there that I need to fold. We're continuing on with exploring creation with Zoology 3, Land Animals of the 6th Day. We're in lesson 3 and we're reading about musky mustelidae today.
They can see me too.
There's a picture of mink who has a soft fur and it's highly prized by hunters. Henry, no, I have to put that out of your reach, I thought. Alright, here we go. Now that you have a good introduction to family Ursidae, I want you to move on to another family of caniforms. Many years ago, it was considered a mark of wealth for a woman to own and wear mink. What is mink? Well, mink is a little ferret-like creature, right here in this picture, with unusually soft fur. It belongs in family Mustelidae, which is also called the weasel family. The carnivores are considered more dog-like than cat-like, though they are very different from either dogs or cats. Here's the picture. Most of the members of family Mustelidae are called mustelids. They are blessed with luxuriously soft fur, making them a favorite among hunters. For hundreds of years, people in cold climates have long...
When we're done with this, can you cut this book out of this?
We'll talk about it then. Making them a favorite among hunters. For hundreds of years, people in cold climates have longed for mink, sable, ermine, and even otter coats. Even though they have been fanatically hunted for hundreds of years, the sable and certain otters are the only mustelids that are considered endangered today. This is a picture of a badger. Right here. Come look. A badger's burrow is a mass of tunnels and underground caves called a set.
Badger.
Yep. As portrayed in The Wind in the Wills, remember we were reading The Wind in the Wills together? The set is kept meticulously clean and passed down from one generation to the next. I didn't actually know that. Winry. You're fine. You didn't even bump your head.
You didn't even bump your head.
How about you don't climb up that?
She's going to climb on me.
Okay, Gwen, can you give me some space, please? Scoot forward because you're so close. God created many different kinds of mustelids, including badgers, wolverines, otters, marten, ferrets, and weasels. In fact, the family name comes from the Latin word mustela, which means weasel.
No!
They are all part of the same family, Gwenny, because they're similar in many aspects. However, there are many differences as well. For example, many of these mustelids live and hunt in different ways. Edward, why don't you grab her some of her toys and see if that helps? Badgers dig holes and burrows under the ground while martens live in trees. Otters spend... Edward, Gwenny, stop. It's just slightly disattached. It's not a big deal. Otters spend almost all of their times in the waters, while minks only spend part of their days swimming. Edward, I'm reading, and you're being rude. So why are the creatures all part of the same family? Well, despite their differences, they also have many things in common, like a big stink. Mustelids have scent glands that reek of strong, distasteful odor. Many mustelids use their scent glands when threatened. They turn their behind on the enemy, raise their tail, and spray noxious liquid at the defending creature. Some mustelids even scream or stand in their front paws while doing this. Sounds like this behavior of a skunk, doesn't it? Well, at one time, skunks were considered mustelids because of this very fact. In addition, the striped polecat and the African weasel, which are mustelids, do actually look like skunks, with a white stripe going down their head to the tail. Nevertheless, skunks are no longer considered mustelids. They are now in their own family, which we will study next.
Take this out.
Okay. Here's a picture of a wolverine.
Oh.
The wolverine is a thick-furred mustelid.
It's this card right here.
Yep, that's probably a mustelid for Edward. It comes from one of the ones we're reading about right now. Very good. This thick-furred mustelid that looks like a small bear, it lives in colder regions in the world like Siberia and Alaska, and is able to crush frozen meat and bones with its powerful jaw. It lives in caves, burrows made by other animals or under the snow. Edward, that is not helpful. I asked you to get the toy to help Winry, not to cause distraction. Pick it up and bring it back, please. Do not make a lot of noise. Because I'm not shouting over top of what you are doing.
Can I have those ones? No.
Gwen, Edward can have one. These are not yours.
You can have.
Edward, Gwen, if Edward wants one of the colorful ones, these are not yours. He can have one. These are Mommy's.
Yours?
Yes.
That you're being nice so we can have them.
Yes, but apparently you're not being nice to each other.
These are mine. Oh, this one's great.
It's not a big deal. We can just tape it.
We can just take the ones wrong.
There. Now, I'm going to finish reading. What else besides... Guys, don't stop her. Besides stink glands make an animal a mustelid? Well, mustelids sport short legs and long bodies, although some, like the badger and wolverine, have a wider body than others. Also, some mustelids except otters and badgers are loners. Much like bears, they usually don't run in packs or spend time with other mustelids, unless they're mating or raising young. Unlike bears, however, almost all the mustelids are primarily carnivorous, always on the hunt for small or big animals to eat. Since we don't have time to discuss all the different mustelids in great detail, just examine one of the cuter members of the family, the otter. Here's a picture of the otter. Guys, look. This is an otter.
Otter?
This is Edward's animal. Northern river otters, like these, can be found in the waterways of North America. So we could probably see these around us. Okay, here we go. Like children, otters love to play. They scamper about on their webbed feet, frolicking in and out of the water, playing chase or tug of war with fellow otters. Not surprisingly, when a group of otters is called a romp. Each romp of otters typically has its own territory when the members hunt, live, and play together. There are many different species of otters, and they can be found in rivers, streams, and oceans all over the world. Being carnivorous, they typically feast on aquatic animals like fish.
These were this glued on.
Okay. Like fish, clams, and crabs. They return to land only to rest in their small home, which is called a holt. At more than 500,000 hairs... Ouch, Winry. At more than 500,000 hairs per square inch, their dense fur keeps their skin dry as they swim in the water. It also traps... That's a lot of hairs per square inch.
Yeah.
It also traps...
You get some. You get one out of here.
Gwenny. It also traps layers of air against the skin, which helps insulate them from the cold. While this wonderful fur keeps them healthy in cold water, it also causes them troubles in another way. You see, this fur has been highly valued by people, and as a result, many species of otters have been hunted to the point where they are considered in danger or becoming extinct. Thankfully, however, many sea species like the sea otter are now protected by conservation laws. As a result, their numbers are growing. The variety among otters is astounding. Some, like the northern river otters pictured above, live in fresh water, while others, like the sea otters, swim in salt water. Some otters have long, thick tails, while the others have flattened paddle-like tails. Most otters are fairly small, growing up to 3 to 4 feet in length. The giant otter, found in South America, however, can grow up to be 6 feet long. That's taller than Daddy. Can you imagine seeing an otter taller than Daddy?
Yes!
That'd be a big otter. Otters are rare among animals, and that many of them regularly use tools to get things done. Primates, monkeys, and apes often use tools as well, and some other specific animals have been shown to use tools from time to time. However, tools used is rare among animals. Like primates, however, otters have developed the ability to find the right tool for the job, and that job is getting food. Sea otters, for example, use stones to bash open the clams they want to eat. With their excellent eyesight,
these are special for
you need to be quiet while I'm reading, okay? Thank you. Otters sea otters find just the right rock from the bottom of the sea and bring it to the surface. Then they set a clam or similar shellfish on the stomach and use the rock to pound on the shells until it cracks open. This is the picture of sea otters. And you can see the difference.
I already saw them.
You saw them?
Yeah.
Sea otters often swim on their
I
backs.
already saw them too.
This allows them to eat and use tools and will cradle their young while they stay in the water. Hi, Artorias. The sea otter's webbed feet have retractable claws, which means it can pull its claws in and out of its paws. It uses its claws for combing and waterproofing its thick fur, as well as for catching prey. In fact, the most important thing a sea otter pup learns is how to clean and groom its fur. This process helps coat the fur with oils which the otter's skin glands produces and helps keep a layer of air trapped against the skin. This makes the full fur waterproof so the otter stays warm and the skin stays dry as it scampers about in the waves. The sea otter spends almost all of its time in the water. Otters love kelp, which is seaweed beds. The kelp hides many sea creatures like the otter likes to eat and offers it a leaf bed upon which to rest. Sea otters also wrap themselves in long strands of kelp anchored to the seafloor. That way they can sleep without floating out to sea. As shown in the picture above, a sea otter spends a lot of time floating on its back. This allows the otter to use its stomach as a table for its food, a workplace for its tools, and even a crib for its pups. As sea otter pups are born in the water and can float, but they can't swim at first.
Why do they can't swim at first?
Because they don't know how. Thus, their mother often carries them on their stomach. Interestingly enough, most otters that live in freshwater give birth to their pups in their holts on land, and the pups stay in the holts for several months. Okay. That is our reading for today. Can you guys say goodbye?
Goodbye.